back to another video. We got a real exciting one today. One mod that I've been waiting for a long time to do on my truck. You guys seen the title of the video. We're getting a digital cluster in our truck. This specific one that is made by One Gauge. I want to go ahead and shout them out for sending out this dope unit. This thing is really cool. You guys are gonna see once we get it installed, all the features that it has, all the sensors and everything. This thing's gonna look crazy in the truck. This is actually the exact same one, or at least very similar to the one we have in the Datsun, right, bud?
That's right. So you can see right here, shout out to One Gauge for providing us with this One Gauge setup for the Mamalona.
There you go.
And basically, so yeah, if you guys have seen the Datsun videos, you know we have a One Gauge in there as well.
You got the screen right here.
Yeah, basically same setup. Just I had to make my own like gauge panel for the screen to fit.
The little trim for the screen.
Yeah, little cluster surround. But yeah, other than that, pretty much same setup. It's a little bit more updated now as they've gone through the years. It's very universal.
As you can see, it's all the sensors that we need right here. Fuel, that one's for boost, and then this one's for our oil pressure. So pretty much a complete setup to go ahead and get the truck right, man.
Yeah, complete setup, super awesome product.
Yeah, that's the cool thing about these. They're universal. So this specific one, he does do specific ones for vehicles, like he 3D prints this for the trucks. You could buy just a screen by itself without the components. It's basically a universal kit where you can put it pretty much in any car.
You can pretty much buy a kit that's built for your vehicle. So I think they got, like this truck, they got Silverados, OBSs, Miatas, some other vehicles.
All types of cars.
But yeah.
But you name it. I mean, like how he did on the Datsun, he just made it custom himself. So if you want to do something similar, One Gauge is the place to go. So we're gonna go ahead, get this set up, get it into the truck. We're gonna go ahead and get this old looking cluster out of the truck, pop in the new one. That's gonna make our truck look that much better. So if you want to go ahead and check out their products or this exact products, I have the links in the description, also to their website. So you can go ahead and check out their whole website. So first thing we're gonna go ahead and do is get the old one out, which is pretty easy. Pretty much just this trim comes off a few screws, and that's pretty much it. Pretty much just give that a little tug. You can see, this is gonna be like the easiest job we've done in a cool little minute. There you go, just comes off like that. Gotta have your gear all the way down, and then that'll allow you to get this trim out, and then onto the speedometer. Then you just put your steering wheel all the way down, and it just snaps out just like that. And then of course, like every basic Chevy, is gonna be a few 7mm screws on the inside. You guys know when we were working on that OBS, there was like 50, 80 of these damn little screws in there, 7mm. But yeah, it's gonna be 4, 2 on each side, and you just unplug it and it comes out. Then there's just gonna be a little wire in the back. As soon as you get that loose, get those little bolts out, you just unplug that. There you have it, fellas. Out with the old. Let's go ahead and get on with the new. So then we come back to our kit over here. We'll go ahead and break down every sensor, everything that we're pretty much gonna be using on the install. We're gonna have our oil pressure here, boost pressure here, and then fuel pressure. Then the smaller one's gonna be for coolant temp, GPS, and then you could also get other sensors, you know, if you want to do exhaust temp. And then I have these other sensors as well if I want to do transmission temp, engine oil temp. You could do it all, man, with this kit. That's what's dope about it. You name it, you can do it. But for me at the moment, I'm just gonna do those 4 main ones, get those hooked up. Maybe later down the line, I'll go ahead and do the trans, the oil temp, but for now, those are the main ones that I need. So for the hub, we decided to put it right in that little crack right behind where the dash is gonna go. Fits in there nice and good, bud.
It's in there nice, like it was made for it.
Yeah, so looks like it should go there. So we're gonna go ahead and put it there. Just put a little bit of double-sided tape. Do that. Go ahead and run our cables through, and then that's pretty much it, man. So now that we have our hub mounted, we're gonna go ahead and get those cables through the same spot where I have my speaker wires going through, right there in that hole that goes straight into the cabin. So we're gonna go ahead and feed that wire through. Pretty much do all of them, if not most of them, through there. That way, that gives us the easiest access to the hub. You got it? There you go, just like that, feeds right through. Super easy, guys. Right under the dash, just like that. So now we're gonna go ahead and throw in our first sensor. It's gonna be for the boost pressure. That's gonna go right here, right under the intercooler, next to our hop switch. Yeah. Honestly, a pretty easy install,
yeah,
really.
Pretty simple setup.
The thing we had to figure out is pretty much just the RPMs.
Yeah.
So we'll figure out if we need to hook that up to the car computer or...
A couple options you could do. I know it's like if you have like a 12-volt signal for your RPMs. You can hook it up straight up. Like on the Datsun, I had a 12-volt signal or 5-volt signal, something like that. I don't really remember exactly, but all I did was hook it up to the RPM input, and I was able to get my RPM reading straight from that. You know, each car gives different signals, so you would like need a Dakota digital box or something like that to convert the signals and make everything work together.
We're gonna go ahead and figure that out next after we get this all wired up and get out of here, because you can see it's hot as fuck. So let's go ahead and finish this up real quick. And then also I wanted to say it's real easy to know which wires go where, because when you do get your unit, it's already gonna come pre-wired. You just have to take all the wires out to run and feed your cables through wherever you're gonna put them. Maybe not in every single case, but in my case I did have to take them off, run it through the dash, and then reconnect them. But like I said, he already has it prepped for you, so even if you do have to take them off, you already know where they go. So right now we're just coming on over to our harness, getting the cables that we need from the harness, doing our turn signal wires, our fuel wire, and then also our RPM wire. And then from the hub, that'll show up on the screen. So as you can see, that's our turn signal right there going on and off. You just find the diagram for the harness.
That's it. Just trace the wires, trace the colors, and you'll get your pinouts, your right plugs for the...
You get all the functions that you want and need.
Yep. There you
and
go.
then onto the screen.
That's your right turn signal right there. Yeah, so just follow your diagrams. Simple enough.
And then get into the hub, and that's it. So just go to your harness. Right now we're gonna check the RPM one, which from our diagram saying A2. We're gonna go ahead and check the power. So to check our RPM reading, obviously the engine has to be turned on. So we're gonna have to turn on the truck and then go back to the harness and read it. Able to get a reading right now, but we'll worry about that later. Right now we'll just go ahead and finish setting up, get our cables through over there to the hub, get everything cleaned up, and then we still got to figure out our fuel and then RPM, and after that that's pretty much it. So now we're going to move on to the next step, which is running power to the unit.
So what they recommend when adding power to this unit, you want to add a inline fuse just to help protect it, just in case you have any shorts or anything. So they recommend 5 amp fuse added to the system, and with that you should be good to go and running your system.
There we go. So we're gonna go ahead and get that fuse on. Got our ground right behind the radio unit. Already got that pretty much set up, so pretty much the rest is setting up the wiring. So we are back the next day. As you can see, we got some light back out again to continue working on the 1 gauge. What's next for it, bud?
Okay, so next we're gonna go ahead and input our left turn signal and our right turn signal, and as well as our RPM or TAC, as you could say. And if you go into your instrument panel cluster plug right here, your tachometer is gonna be a white A2, and then your right turn signal is gonna be dark blue B10, and your left turn signal is gonna be light blue B1.
Left turn, right turn, pretty much breaks it down. So if you're wondering how each wire goes, like I showed you, got instructions right there. Guys, this is possibly the easiest gauge cluster to install, at least for digital ones. It's real simple, man. If you know how to do simple wiring like that, it's not a problem at all. So we're gonna go ahead, get this finished up. We're gonna go ahead and check it out, get those hooked up. We're still looking up how to get the fuel one hooked up. That's the last one that we need. Once we find out, we'll go ahead and let you guys know. But in the meantime, we're gonna go ahead, get these hooked up into our 1 gauge, and then move on to the fuel, and then that's pretty much it. We'll get it all cleaned up, and then we'll go ahead and turn it on and check it out. All right, so now for our fuel reading, we couldn't really find anything in the instructions, in the harness, or anywhere online that really reads which wire is going from the harness or reading from the fuel or for the fuel to the original gauges. So we're not 100% sure which wire, so we thought it'd just be safer just to go ahead and grab it from the fuel pump itself. So that's exactly what we're gonna do here. We have our harness here. We know for sure this is our fuel reading right here. We're just gonna cut it, run it straight to the 1 gauge hub. That's the way we found the easiest way to do, right, bud? So
yep.
This way we know we're sure, or at least 90% sure, if we just cut it there, run it to the hub, we should be good, man.
Yeah, it should be good.
So we're gonna go ahead, chip it, run it to the hub, and then for the first time, turn on our 1 gauge, man. Let's go ahead and do it. So before we get that wire all nice and tucked neat, we're gonna go ahead, put it into our hub, make sure that it reads our fuel. Now, we're gonna go ahead and grab our screen here. Ooh, that nice little touch screen. So we're gonna go ahead, plug it in. Should turn on no issues, really coming down to seeing if we could read the fuel, and then that's pretty much it. So like I stated earlier, to turn it on, you have to add a switch. All right, bud, fingers crossed, man. Yep. Let's see what it does. So as soon as I hit the switch, check it out. Should power on. Got light, and yes sir, check it out. Got our digital gauge, yep, for the truck. Now it just comes down to making sure all our sensors work and all that, but as you can see, got our screen to turn on, so let's go ahead and check the fuel. And like we said earlier, it comes with a bunch of different themes. I believe there's also a customizable one, so you can make your own, but it does come with a bunch of preloaded ones. Yep. So now we're gonna go ahead and calibrate the fuel tank to make sure we're getting the right reading. How do we do that, bud?
So to do that, you would have to, get a multimeter and check the settings on your vehicle. But for ours, so what you do for the Silverado, you click up here in the top left corner. You go to your sensor setup, and then right here it shows your ohms for your full level and then your ohms for your empty level. So for the Silverado, I think empty is 40 ohms and then full is going to be 250 ohms. I already set the empty at 40, and then to set the full, you could go here plus 50, 50, 50, 50. So we're at 200, and then you just add 5 at a time. There you go, 240 ohms, and now we should be reading correctly.
For our fuel level.
For our fuel level, yeah.
Which is that's about right. We did have a low fuel tank before we got this installed, so that seems about right. We'll go ahead, finish setting this up, and then we'll see if we get the right readings once we give it some power. And then we'll just scroll real quick through all the different gauges so you guys can see the variety that 1 gauge gives you. But we're looking for the one that we like to use, the one that we have on the Datsun, which is going to be this one right here. That one right there, we like to use this one just because we feel like it's a little easier to read everything. So got your fuel right there, oil PSI, temps, RPMs, all that. Right now we're going to go ahead and try to get the readings for the RPMs. Before you turn it on, you want to make sure the screen is off. And just for safety for the computer and the screen, before you turn on the vehicle, just always have the screen off. Turn on the vehicle first and then turn on the screen. And then for turning off the car, you also want to turn off the screen and then turn off the car, just to prevent anything from shocking the system or anything like that. But like I said, we're going to go ahead and turn it on and then see if we can read our RPMs. Got to give it a little gas. Still not tuned, fellas, still not tuned. Ooh, still running healthy. Let's go ahead and check out these RPMs. See if it reads.
Yep. Wait. Yeah.
Just that one right there? Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah, let me give it gas. Yep.
There we go.
Oh, shut off.
So we know it's reading our RPMs, that's good.
Yeah.
Yep. There we go, we got RPMs.
Yep.
Looking good, looking good. Our fuel, 6%.
Not much, but it's there.
All right, but there you have it. That's pretty much it. All we got to do now is connect the rest of our sensors, clean all this wiring up. This one was a little on the easier side, still a little time consuming, but nonetheless, pretty easy. So the way we're gonna get our fuel pressure reading is we're gonna go ahead and take off our physical gauge, replace it with our sensor. That's gonna replace that, and then we'll have the digital reading from our 1 gauge. So now it's just gonna come off, screw it off. It's gonna leak a little bit of fuel, just like that. Then we replace it with our new one, and that's it. So now we're gonna come over to our oil pressure sensor, which is gonna go right there on the gold fitting that you can see is leaking. Right now we have a plug on it. Take that off, throw in our sensor, and then that's pretty much it for our oil pressure. And there you see it, new sensor goes in, and that's pretty much it for that. So we got the oil pressure all hooked up. Last one is gonna be our coolant temp sensor. So this fitting is what we need for it to go into the head, and then the sensor is gonna go right into there. So we just gotta go ahead and get this in, and then that's pretty much it for all our sensors. And then we can go ahead, get the 1 gauge in, get everything together and be done with this. So we'll go ahead and throw in our sensor before we throw it on the block, just so when we take off the plug, we're gonna get a little bit of coolant leak. So once we take off the plug, we'll try to throw this one on real quick. So like I said, for that coolant temp sensor, we're gonna go ahead and get that plug off of the head. So we'll go ahead, fast forward a little bit. We have everything pretty much hooked up, all our sensors, cables, everything the way we're gonna have it. So now we'll just go ahead and check all our sensors, make sure everything's reading on the screen. This might be one of the first digital cluster installs on one of these trucks. If you look on YouTube, there's not much, right, bud?
Nothing. I couldn't find anything.
Yeah, we were trying to find like other videos, other examples, and really there's nothing. So this might be the first of its kind, but let's go ahead and do it. This one should go up as it gets hotter?
Yeah, as it gets hotter. Yeah.
All right, looks like our oil PSI works. Temperatures are getting hotter. Got our fuel, RPMs. It's looking good, bud.
It's working so far.
So we went ahead and cleaned up all the wires. The only thing left to do is get in our new bezel, slide in our screen, and then go ahead and slap that bad boy on, man. Check it out, 3D printed. Not too bad, not too bad. So we're gonna go ahead and throw in our screen, get it plugged in, and that's pretty much it, fellas. All right, fellas, but there you have it, man. Got it all wired up, got it hooked up. Thing looks amazing, man. Shout out once again to Onegauge for hooking us up with this dope ass kit. Yeah, man, all that's left to do is go ahead and show you guys the outcome, man. Here it comes. All right, but there you have it. You guys see it. Definitely one of my favorite, if not my favorite mod on a truck. I think it's like a finishing touch to the truck, man, especially for the interior. I just want it nice and subtle, clean, just how it is. I probably won't change too much from what it is now. You guys think, should we get one for the OBS, bud?
Yeah, I don't know. Let us know. You know, they make a kit for the OBS as well, so we could go ahead and throw one of those in there as well.
You guys heard the man. We actually got the OBS right here. We got some mods coming for the truck soon. You guys know the last thing we did on this was the 4-link suspension. So definitely want to do some more interior stuff. Maybe a 1 gauge on this as well. Once we get that swap, that trans swap, everything done on this truck, we're definitely going to want a similar setup to what we have on this truck. So I'm going to go ahead and start it up, show you guys everything working, all the sensors, all that. And then that's it, man. We're going to pretty much call it a day. We'll go ahead and check all our temps, sensors. We'll come in here. As far as for the sensors that we do have, coolant, as you can see, that one's rising. We don't have AFR yet, so that one's just like all over the place. We don't have an AFR yet. Don't have trans. You can customize these, take out the ones you don't want and whatnot, so that's cool. We have our fuel, our voltage, our boost, our oil, our fuel, and yeah, man, there you go. You can see our truck is also idling. Another success, fellas. Also forgot to mention the turn signal. Got those hooked up as well. See it right there. We don't have them plugged in right now, so they are blinking fast. Just checking out the different screens. All right, fellas, that's gonna pretty much wrap up the video though. You guys see the truck is back in the garage in one piece. Only thing that's left is getting new injectors. What else, bud?
Injector.
Oh, finish setting up, you know, all the little hoses for the wastegate, blow valve, all that.
Yeah.
And then we are pretty much off to the tuner.
Boost controller.
Oh, boost control, still need a boost control. That's pretty easy though. Quick stuff,
Quick little things.
quick little things, and then we'll be off to the tuner and see what the truck does, man. But there you have it. Like, comment, and subscribe to the boy. I'm gonna see you guys in the next one, man.